Hello, it's me again. Don't seem to be doing a great deal of messing around in the yard this week, just messing around with other people's cars. And I'm fine with that. Hopefully you are too. Unless your eyes have been removed and replaced with radishes, you'll spot that this isn't a Rover or an MG, but a Saab. A Saab 9.3 to be exact, with no roof on, and a 1.8 turbocharged engine, and quite an amazing luminous yellowy green. I really like this colour, but some may say it looks a bit like radioactive baby sick. Either way, it really does suit this car. And what a fantastic looking car it actually is. It really does suit having no roof on it at all. Styling is quite subtle actually. It's just basically a 9.3 front end with a back end that's a bit different. How different? Lights are different, the boot's different, the rear bumper's different, but most of all the roof is different. Quite good heavy sounding doors, even with the window down. Having no roof makes it very easy to have a look at the interior without even being inside the car. And these seats do look very nice and comfortable indeed, with nice proper leather straight from a cow. I am now going to attempt the undoubtedly pointless task of trying to climb into the back. Well, wait a minute. No, perhaps not actually. I think I'm going to need the whole back seat to actually fit in there. There's literally nowhere to put my sticks. Sticks. The Saab interior is unique. No other car really looks like a Saab on the inside. It's all very functional. It's a bit dark, maybe dark plastics, but it's nothing like a BMW or a Volkswagen or any of that stuff. The buttons have a nice feel to them actually. Nice and soft, yet purposeful. They don't just flop in, they just work. These air vents are really unusual. So much work has gone into designing these air vents to actually do that, I reckon. What about the famous cup holder? And it works good. Very, very interesting design there. Woo! I like that. It only has one cup holder though, but how many cups do you need? One. I mean two. You could have another one for the other side for your passenger. But as you can't really fit anyone in the back properly, there's really no need for any there either. Although I've been in the MG TF for a test drive and didn't actually have the roof off, so I didn't get the full experience of a convertible. But today I am going to have that full experience and I'm looking forward to it. Underneath the big yellow bonnet is the 1.8 turbo engine. Now before my chap came along, I did a little bit of research on the engine so I could tell you something about it. Unfortunately, I thought he had a 2-litre engine, not a 1.8, which means that information that I found is a bit useless. Apparently, the exhaust valves are liquid sodium cooled. Right, something slightly confusing now, because I was told the engine was a 2-litre turbo, and he said it's about 150 brake horsepower, so I had a look and found it to be 170 brake horsepower. And then when he turned up, it said 1.8T on the back, so that's a 1.8 turbo, which is 150 brake horsepower. So then I did the drive around and everything, thinking that's what it was, and then he told me afterwards that that's just a badge. It is actually a 2-litre turbo, but it's an earlier model, so it's still 147 brake horsepower. A very unusual feature of the Saab, of course, is the key down there. They always do that, and well, I mean, it's confusing if you're not used to driving one. Wow, that's lovely and smooth actually. Lovely. Oh gosh, that gear knob's properly in the way. So first impression of this car is it drives really, really smoothly again, just like the Rover that had the SLI and my dad's Rover P5B. And then come to think of it, the Rover 827 as well also drove remarkably smoothly. I'm used to either driving a Rover 25, which is okay, but it doesn't exactly have a really smooth ride, and an MG ZS, which has a really hard ride, and a recovery truck, which is a truck and not meant to have any kind of comfort whatsoever, and it really doesn't. And to me, this is a very, very quiet engine, even with the roof off. I was expecting to be able to hear a bit more engine noise, but it's just very refined. It might have something to do with one of my ears being blocked up. It could be that it's not been messed around with, the exhaust hasn't been poked straight through with a stainless steel catless thing on, like many people try and do with a slightly performance-y type car. My only concern so far is I noticed the engine management lights on, so I'm not sure what's caused. Oh, I just had a thought. Are those seagulls going overhead now? What if one of them does a poo on me? Straight onto my head. Now this part of the video went quite unfortunately wrong, because you can really hardly hear a thing I am saying, and for some reason the image went rather strange on it as well. But basically what I am trying to tell you here is that the 2-litre turbo engine is actually a Vauxhall Ecotec engine that's had its internals strengthened up, and that, you know, should make it quite a bit more durable. Plus also the 5-speed gearbox in this car is actually a Saab gearbox and not a Vauxhall gearbox, which is why it will feel a bit better to drive. Let's talk about how it handles. For a car with no roof, it handles surprisingly flat. Very, very well mannered in fact, and it pulls really rather well. Well, it's not breathtakingly quick or anything, but you know, it picks its feet up, as they say. I'm used to people looking at me as I drive around, but I'm not really used to people being able to hear me as I drive around chatting about the car I'm in. So I do feel a little bit self-conscious in this car, especially with its colour. I mean, it does stand out a little bit, doesn't it? We all know about the Vauxhall Saab connection. Well, I mean, most people do. I think they do. And that this was supposed to be like a Vauxhall Vectra, or an Insignia, would have been a Vectra. And it doesn't feel like one at all. It feels like a completely different car, in fact. As good as it is with the top down, once you've got the top back up again, you've got a massive pillar at the back, which makes it very difficult to see out of. I always do these videos completely off the cuff, but today I thought, let's do a bit of research on this car so I don't come across as some complete chancer and, you know, I've got a degree of knowledge about me. Well, that would have been great had I not, first of all, thought it was a 2-litre, then found out it was a 1.8, and then after that found out that it is a 2-litre with a 1.8 badge on the back. Excellent! Got there in the end. The GM Epplesome platform.